Hey, what's up, everybody? Good morning, good day, happy Tuesday. Welcome back to another episode of Bushwhacking History in Buffalo with Berserker Bear. So, how we doing, y'all? So it's been a while since I had a pre-recorded video, so I figured I'd get one out for you and maybe just mess around on my desktop and let you know what I got coming out going forward. If you look at what you have here on the screen, that's the old. Oh boy, I've done that before. The old Assumption Church on Hurdle, the Church of the Blessed Mary, I believe. So check that one out. I forget what video it is of mine, but please come to my YouTube channel. And so what we're going to do right now is just track through my desktop and a couple of videos I put out recently. Obviously, check out my conversations with Moon Jazz Bear and Neil. Neil and I talked about Niagara Falls. Moon Jazz and I talked about the nature of the realm and a lot of cool gravy we laid out. So let's go back to my photos. And if you remember, I've done Lockport and Mount Albion Cemetery with my homie Robbie and talking about stuff going forward. Oh, let's get my mug off the screen here. Sorry about that, y'all. I mean, I know. Okay. So, Robbie, there you go. What's up? Going forward, we got work to do. Him and I are going to be tracking against what he brought to the table last time that we were ladling gravy on a Skype session, just talking back and forth. I've advised and told you guys before that he has a lot of information on the native stuff. And as you can see right here, I guess this will just be effectively a syllabus, another work list, along with the stuff that I do here in Buffalo that Robbie and I could do to check this place out. I've showed this before, but just so you know, again, this is my area effectively and my stomping ground. Buffalo, all the way out to Oneida Lake, Oswego. This is called what's effectively known as the, we'll get to that, Psychic Highway. Okay, very interesting. I believe that it has to do with a lot of minerals in some charged water, but I'm still working on that anyway. So the Erie Canal, and this has got some history here. I'm in the process right now of redoing my library, so I don't know where all my books are, but I do have this book. We'll track against that, and we're just going to go to these places. So Robbie knows where a lot of them are. Again, this is my area. Let's see where the should have had this ready. I'm sorry, guys, but as with hipfire, it is what it is. Okay, my area. Oh, we were there. Okay, Buffalo, Western New York. Got all this work to do. Robbie and I are going to track against these Aboriginal monuments of the state of New York, and with burial mounds. Actually, let's go back to. Well, let's play a little tunes here. Sorry. Have a little undertone here of some cruising at 432 hertz. All right. So again, Robbie and I went to Mount Albion Cemetery a couple weeks ago, and it was amazing. Mounds. To me, it looked like they were terrace mounds on top of, or a cemetery on top of terrace mounds. It looked similar to Forest Lawn, and if nothing else, we're just going to go get boots on the ground at a lot of these places here. So keep keep a heads up for that. We got more work to do, and I like to get back to doing stuff that I did when I first started going to buildings here in Buffalo also. I know back in the day in my earlier videos, if you see, I used to lean my phone up against some books that I have down here, and I was calling everything Tartaria, Reset, Mudflood. I don't. Some people ask me why I don't delete those videos because I have a progression of my work, and if you guys have been along with me the whole time, I think that you can see that. So even though I was calling everything Tartaria back in the day, we progress and we move forward, and we've identified that that's more of a blanket term for cool architecture. We know I have the definitions here for reference. Woody and I have went over that. Also, I'd like to let's go to my YouTube channel here, and I got some interesting comments about my recent post here, and it might be a little bit confusing to some that I think that all this stuff is possibly able to be built, even with horse and buggy technology, as I state here in my recent community tab post. So it's just the way I have progressed with my research. Tartaria is a synonym for what would say what was impossible architecture. To me, I don't think it's impossible anymore. I've progressed, or I've come full circle, or did an about face, rather, on that notion. So human beings are capable of a lot. Our potential is infinite. And yes, I do think that a lot of these buildings were able to be built alongside horse and buggy tech. That's another facet. So come check out my YouTube channel, and please like these posts. It really helps out. Check out this post that I just dropped from Matt Long. Used to be Woketown, changed his name, so it's still dropping gravy. This is one of the coolest videos that I've ever seen. I like to drop truth information on my IG along with the videos that I do here. So if you come to my IG, which is accessible on the top portion of my YouTube channel, the top rocker up here, the bottom right, you can get my IG and my Odyssey as a backup. Anyway, let's get some ideas for the hip fire session here. I track back on old ideas. I believe it's a Minecraft realm. Blocks, blocky blockage, infinite terrain. Is that what's going on here on the Terra? I don't think it's infinite because I'm more of a firmament guy, and I've addressed that before. Okay, that's my cosmology as it stands, as I believe in the Christian cosmology of things. It's not discounting any other benevolent religion. We're not going to go through that, but this is what I believe our realm is. Okay, so with that, I just keep on trying to figure out what this stuff is. What is the ground? What's the Terra? If it's not geology as we're told, like this, for example, why do we have this uniform limestone brickwork type of stuff in the Ordovician period? I mean, that's like 300 million years ago. These are just general questions I have, and I like to present them with you. So keep with me. And then when you have stuff like this, we actually can pour limestone, as evidenced right here. Okay, those are limestone bricks. And then when you see a picture that anybody has, or any textbook that's in a high school or even college has this diagram for what geology and the layers of geology are. Great upheavals, turn stuff, and then we have igneous rock intrusions or whatever. I get it. Why do they always show, sorry about that, why do they always show that uniform brick limestone though? Meanwhile, we can pour it now, so we can make some hypotheses as to, well, maybe they were doing it back then. And that's why I kind of call them the Legoliths of the Terra. Kind of coined that one. I'll put my flag on that. Anyway, that's my cosmology. That's what I'm going to be doing. I think you guys know that. I don't want to repeat myself. Come check out my IG. You'll see truth drops from movies. I put movie clips. I put cool stuff like this. I mean, this bear looks to me like he's acting like a dog. So cool. Right? And I always try to have a positive tone to everything that I do. I'm the eternal optimist. Positive, possibly to a fault, but that's just how I roll. Cool music, old school. I like the throwback. Okay, I just finally realized that this song is actually about a Bible verse, and I always thought Kyrie was a girl. No offense, Kyrie Irving. Okay, but yeah. So Kyrie Eleison is actually from the Bible. Lord have mercy. And not only is that a banger fist pumping 80s track, you're fist pumping to Bible verse there. Okay. Well, yep. Cool movies also. Check out this on my playlist in my YouTube playlist list. Say that 3 times fast. Okay. IG, good movies, truth drops, insights on history. Kind of similar to my community tab on my YouTube channel, but this gets a little bit more with the media truth drops, if you will. You know, like this. If anybody knows how Steven Seagal runs, talk about throwback 80s movies, huh? I thought this was funny. Dude's always running. They always got to get him running, and he's always pulling his arm. I mean, that gif is hilarious. Look at him, pulling the arm, pulling that arm. Having a little fun here, guys. So if you hit, there you go. End result there. Okay. Great movie there. What's going on with this dude? You work for the government, bro, or you work for Hollywood land, dude? You know, not that I care. Tinfoil hat, I've been for a while, but I'm just eating popcorn with my faith these days. Okay, keep your heads up and your faiths up, y'all. So that's IG. Now let's go to my desktop and show some ideas. Again, I showed you what I was going to be doing going forward with Robbie, along with stuff here in Buffalo, like, let's see, Buffalo. Oh, that's not it. Although this is cool. I've read this one before. I also got to get another reading of my Niagara Falls book that I got to get back to you, John. And we will be getting in touch soon, sir. Shout out to John Horan, who let me borrow that Niagara Falls Echoes in the Mist book. I still have it right here. I don't know where a lot of my books are, but I know where that one is. I know where this one is too. So much crushing. And then again, shout out to John. I have to do another reading from this book. It's very important because it details the fur trade and the pelt trade between the natives and the French and the English here in Western New York on Lake Frontenac. And Robbie has a lot of unbelievably deep gravy on that. Okay, so stay tuned. Anyway, all right, so historically we got Göbekli Tepe. Let me just walk you through an idea here that I have. Göbekli Tepe is, pardon me, historically and archaeologically very significant because it dates our history of hunter-gatherers coming out of, well, hunter-gathering and being more societal and tribal and villages. This dates, I believe, 12,000 years ago. It pulls the civilization back further in time from what we would say is Stonehenge. Okay, now do your own research on this one. There's a whole bunch of stuff. This is in Turkey, and this pulls the date of civilization back further. Again, from Stonehenge, we were saying, how could they do that 4,000 years ago? 2000 BC is where I believe Stonehenge is dated from, off the top of my head. Anyway, this is like almost double that age, okay? 12,000 years ago, more than double. So please forgive me if I'm speaking incorrectly here in date terms. I'm just talking off the top of my head. The point being is that I want to get at is they believe this to have been, this is a world history article, and all I want to pull from this is the fact that, well, what's highlighted. And okay, 8,000 BC. The excavators of Göbekli Tepe believe that around 8000 BCE, the people at the site deliberately buried the monuments under mountains of soil and settlement refuse, such as flints, animal bones brought from elsewhere. Okay, great. Now I know that a lot of people, or there's a buried or melt. Okay, and I have a hard time thinking, and I've explained this before with Woody, thinking that everything is melted, all melted brick or whatever. I am not of that mindset, though I'm not going to say that it's not in certain cases. what I do want to say is let's play a little bit of an old clip here that I got from hydro mining from back in the day. I played this back in my doing the Grand Canyon video, but let's just lay some context here and get your mind thinking a certain way and listen to what this guy says. And then we'll layer, pun intended, afterwards and extrapolate afterwards.
But the problem was how to get the gold out. There are thousands of dollars worth of gold in that hillside. But it's also mixed in with millions of tons of packed river gravel, packed so hard that the miners themselves used to call it cement. Packed river gravel, packed so hard that the miners themselves used to call it cement.
Okay, sorry about stopping the audio. I like playing that. Okay, I have played that before, and what I said is maybe it was packed so hard and they called it cement because maybe it was. I shot out the work that Paul Cook is doing with stuff being render and cement mortar covered over stuff. I believe that they were able to, and I think that I've showed that, you know, there is the ability to make limestone. Paul Cook puts it out there also. Definitely go check him out. His channel is great. Now, we all know about the half moon structure that John Levi, the OG, has showed us back in the day. You know, bottom right corner. I do have some good pictures, and what I'm going to do here is just try to paint an idea. Now, I guess that we understand that this is from a structure that was supposed to have been built there in the 70s, but look at these columns. Keep in mind Göbekli Tepe being purposely buried. Now, I'm not saying that this isn't the foundations of a structure from the 70s, but that supports the argument that I'm going to propose here. And it's parallel to what other people are saying, such as Wise Up. Just comes to mind. There you go. Old foundation. But keep in mind how they look and the idea of leaching, ground leaching. Wise Up had described that very much in detail recently. How, and actually Roger at Mud Fossil University talks about it very well too. I love his Terra, his ground research. I am not on board with his space research though. I make a clear distinction there. I learned a lot from Roger regarding geology might be giant biology, but I turn off, no disrespect, but I turn off when the space talk comes on. Completely respect Roger and everything, and I highly recommend you check out his channel. If you like space, even better, but it's not my cosmology. I don't pay attention when he starts talking about that. I do when he does about mud fossils, and I take some of that information and apply it here because I think the soil and the terra does leach into stuff, and what we could be seeing as melt, and people are saying everything's melted. Well, actually, what if it was buried for a very long time? And we're just seeing the terra and the strata actually erode back and expose this stuff. And what looks like melt could be stuff that was buried before. And I think I do a good job of explaining that in one of my IG posts. Let's see if I could find it. When I talk about an unbelievably terrifying instrument, history is pretty dark, y'all. And I think that the name perilous, something that is perilous, actually comes from the brazen bull, because the inventor of it, his name was Perilous. And the king that had it commissioned actually put Perilous in the brazen bull to test it out and locked him in it. And he didn't wind up dying, but the actual king who did that, who commissioned it and had the inventor put in the brazen bull, I believe he actually was put in it himself. So be careful what you wish for, y'all. All right. Buried or melted. I'm not saying, I'm not taking away from the idea that stuff could be melted. I believe that I spoke with Woody before about it, and Woody had, from Wood and Nichols, also check his channel out. Woody had said that, does he think that the whole entire realm could be melted? Yeah, obviously. I believe he's referencing God could do anything. in my opinion. I hate to paint everything with one brush though and say it's all melted red brick. Check this stuff out too. That's wood right there. Like wood and nickels, shout out. They're putting wood inside of this to make it look like it's, all marble, and they do render over it. So keep that in mind. That is a thing. Okay, melted or buried, melted or buried. Where you at? Where you at? Okay, here it is. This is just a good example, in my opinion, I think, of what people are calling melt. Stuff like that. You could probably see it all over YouTube. It's a melted city. What I propose is keep Half Moon Bay in mind, and how quickly that those columns were able to look like the strata. Now, in this post, I got called out a little bit, or not called out, but somebody put 500,000 years. That's just an extreme example. Maybe it hasn't been that long, 500,000 years or whatever. What I'm saying is, what if what we're seeing and taken away as melted buildings actually is stuff that has been buried, like Göbekli Tepe, and erosion does happen, sedimentation does happen, the leaching of the soil does happen. I think it also could be stuff that's buried for a very long time, and actually the sands of time and the dust is being pulled back, and we're seeing something that was buried for a very long time ago. That's a possibility, and again, Wise Up, his past couple of videos have been hitting at this. Check that dude out. He underlines this idea as well. So it stands to reason to deduce from that and extrapolate that our timeline might be way longer than we're told. Recorded history only goes back 6,000 years. What happened before recorded history? That's what we're getting at. So that's a quick little, how you doing? Good to see you. Got more work to do from Buffalo? Like, what's going on here? This is a picture of Buffalo after the burning of it in 1812. Now, I'm actually, my house that I'm in right now in my basement is one of these buildings. Want to talk about buried? What's going on here? Are these forms or are these basements? These obviously are basements, and we know how the chimneys stand after a lot of these fires in these old pictures. But something just seems off to me on that. Are they oil derricks? Did they bury everything? Like I propose in... Oh, that's Cleveland. Okay. Look at the ridge at the top right, up here. I think that it was uncovered and stuff was buried, purposely leveled out and terraformed around stuff like this that are now basements that I'm in right now. Okay, look at how these are all like subset into the terra. And if you've seen my basement is one of those buildings, effectively. Where are you? Anyway, I have a chimney that goes all the way down to the ground. It's quite possible there is structure underneath these houses, even in my section, which is the most northern part of Buffalo. I can't find it off the top of my head, but let's check back to this. So what does that look like to you a little bit? Sacsayhuama? Is that how they did this? Watch. And I have to give a shout out to a comment on my YouTube channel, because I forget what commenter it was, said that the name Sax is actually in Sacsayhuama, and these are sacks of concrete, and that looks like polygonal masonry, Cyclopean masonry. If you stand it up on end and if you flatten it all out, what would it look like? It would look like Sacsayhuama, or this polygonal masonry that we see everywhere throughout the realm. Just keep that in mind. Could it have been sacks? You know, Philip and I have talked about that. Canvas bags. That idea has been out there. This is, I think, another something to think about because boy, does it look exactly like it. Who knows? Anyway, I'm gonna be doing some more videos about this guy. I'll do a history episode on Fred Deebna, legend steeplejack. I got a buddy in England. Shout out Stuntman Bear, Oi Brava. We're gonna be doing a show on this guy and chimneys. So again, I got a lot of work going out um, or coming up. Robbie and the Erie Canal and Aboriginal mound sites and the water, minerals in the water. I got a show coming out with Stuntman Bear about Fred Deebna, the legendary steeplejack and steam engine enthusiast extraordinaire. And boots on the ground of still old buildings and architecture here in Buffalo. So it's good to see y'all. Good to be back. I appreciate the love, the support, and the feedback and the insight, even if it's critical, in my comment section. So please make sure that you hit that up and give feedback. Make sure that you check out my YouTube channel. Like, share, subscribe if you do. And I have backup Odyssey. And you can get to my IG with all the truth drops, the movie recommendations, and the auxiliary research here as well. So that was a quick hip fire, edition of Bushwhacking History and a little preview of Ladle and Gravy to come. So you have a good day, and I will report back. Be safe, keep your heads up and your faith up, and we already won, y'all. Take care. Catch you on the next one.